Hey guys, it's Relic. So yeah, I wanted to make a video on here to warn everyone about some weird Fortnite knockoff that's being spread. Or I think it's supposed to be a knockoff. To be honest, I have no idea what this thing is supposed to be, but it's definitely not anything official or safe for that matter. I was doing my usual thing, racking up kills against wannabe edgelords and noobs and such, when I heard a Discord ping. I checked my DMs and found that some random guy with a bunch of numbers in their username sent me a zip file along with the message, "Fortnite 2 leak from Epic Games. Please play." Now obviously I didn't trust this guy at all, and their claim of a Fortnite 2 was very suspicious, especially since at the time the game was still being supported and such. Plus there was no news or really anything about the supposed sequel. So how this random person got a hold of it was weird. I saw the red flags from this guy, but I at least wanted to see what the hell this thing they sent me was. So I decided to boot it up in a virtual machine with the help of my friend Pablito, who was more of a tech expert than I was. After we got the thing running, I took the zip file and unzipped it into the VM. The first thing I noticed was the only thing inside it was an exe file. Nothing that would go with a normal game, just that exe. I ran the exe file and watched as it went into full screen. The first thing I noticed about it was the title screen was bad. Like 5-year-old's arts and crafts level bad. The title screen was a heavily compressed screenshot of the old menu, obviously taken from another person's video or something, since it still had the Xbox controls on it, with a 2 poorly drawn onto it. I wasn't sure if I could even navigate through the menu until I randomly clicked the mouse. Apparently, it didn't need actual input because as soon as I clicked the mouse, it automatically took me to some weird loading screen before dropping me off. I will note that I won't really be sharing any screenshots since, aside from the oddly missing battle bus opening that begins each game, it was mostly an unmodified build of Fortnite. At least the classic version before all of the updates that got added to it. The one thing I will note was that there wasn't anyone else on the server aside from myself, where I was labeled as Test 1. I found it odd, but maybe this was some weird debug thing that the guy forgot to remove. And besides, having an offline version of an online game was at least neat to have in case of any server shutdowns. At least, I thought it was offline. A few seconds after running around and goofing off in this weird game, another player joined with the name RE_S3T. Okay, weird. Thought this was offline. Maybe I accidentally had the server set to public or something. Lord knows there was probably some strange archaic method to set it up that I didn't find. But hey, at least I'm not alone in this. I immediately went into the chat to type hello. No reply. I shrugged, probably not the talkative type. I continued to roam around, gathering loot and seeing if there was anything else I could do besides just dick around in this empty map. That's when I finally spotted the other player. They appeared to be one of the default player skins, and they were standing idle on some weird rock formation. I typed in the chat, "Hey, I see you. Don't think there's many people online, huh?" Almost immediately, the player replied in this weird typing style, "H_hello. Do you like to games?" I almost couldn't read it at first since it was so weirdly spaced out, but I realized they were asking if I like to play games. Alright, sure, asking to play a game on a battle royale. Sounds like a real fun idea. Sarcasm aside, I typed back, Sure, beat standing around doing nothing. What do you have in mind besides just Battle Royale, I guess? Nothing important. Just hide and seek. The last part of the text was rendered in this glitchy manner that made it hard to look at. It was then I realized that whatever this player responded with used essentially chopped up pieces of my text to form their own sentences. Before I could ask the player why, they seemed to just disappear. Not disconnect. No, since when I checked the server list, they were still on the server. If there weren't already red flags before, this one certainly was. I had no idea how this was even possible. Hackers were out of the question since, as far as I was concerned, this was a normal player that didn't even show signs of hacking or were even capable of something like this. Hell, even normal hackers or cheaters just had aimbot or seeing through walls. Not something that can render you completely invisible or modify text like that. Yeah, I know, getting freaked out over a bootleg version of Fortnite sounds incredibly silly. But given everything that happened up to this point, I at least felt creeped out knowing whatever was in that server was either really advanced at hacking or something else entirely. I rushed to find any sort of hiding spot that I could, which was under some tree. I was expecting the other player to reappear and start running towards some random place, but what I got was a message in the chat. There you are. It was of course from RE_S3T. Their text was normal now, not like the cut-up sentences like before. But then the question was, how the hell did this guy find me so fast in only a few seconds? I looked both to my left and right, but I couldn't see them at all. It wasn't until I looked up that I finally saw them. I wish I hadn't done that. The skybox turned from a normal blue sky into this warped mass of red skin and bloodshot eyes, all staring down at me. I was so caught off guard by this that I almost didn't even notice the other player, or whatever was masquerading as them. I could make out the silhouette of the player model as they stared down at me from the top of the tree. As soon as I spotted them, their model started to stretch and contort into this tall, lanky creature. Their facial features were gone, replaced with this white set of teeth, and their skin was now the same harsh red as the sky. Their mouth opened, and I'm not joking, a voice chat that I didn't even know this game had popped up with the most violent, unhinged scream I have ever heard in my life, blaring through it. It didn't sound human either. It sounded more like an animal. Naturally, my first response was to run as far away from this thing as possible. Of course, this thing was extremely fast and caught up to me instantly. My second response was to simply shoot the thing. I mean, it was a shooter game after all. Unfortunately, no matter what weapon I chose or unloaded into it, the creature didn't seem to be affected by it. Eventually, I was grabbed by this entity, and my game started to lag as I could hear something snapping, cracking. There was one final message from the other player before the game crashed entirely. Goodbye. After that, the virtual machine reset, and what I was greeted with was an image of the entity against a red and black background, along with text next to it. You should know better than downloading random software from people you don't know. Now you pay the price. Have fun with a broken computer. I should note that I couldn't really interact with anything inside the virtual machine, forcing me to reset it. Since my main computer was at least unharmed, I attempted to message the person asking what the actual hell was their problem, sending me what was essentially a Trojan, only to find nothing. Well, the user was there as a deleted user, but their original message about the zip file was gone, as if they never sent it in the first place. So, moral of the story? Do not, under any circumstances, download anything claiming to be some Fortnite 2 leak, hacks, or anything of the sort. It is a Trojan that will destroy your computer. And I am very lucky that I was smart enough to use it on a virtual machine, instead of risking my main setup. And if you, for some reason, decide to download it anyways, do not interact with anyone that claims to be a player on that server. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because there are more chilling tales to be told. Also, check out my other social media profiles. The links for those are down in the description. Thanks for listening.